What is up? We are out to make the most pretentious cup of coffee that I can think about having to make. So what does that entail? Well, first of all, it means getting out of your house and not doing this thing over a stovetop. It means getting out into the woods somewhere. So that's what we're doing right now. So stick around and see what we got going on. Step one of a pretentious cup of coffee. Portage the canoe to the lake. Having the proper amount of waxed canvas, leather, wood, Kevlar, oilcloth is also a very vital part. And don't forget the reindeer hide. Of course, another piece of vital pretentious gear to always have with you, and just so nobody tries to call me out, is the North by North wool kerchief. Always on me when I'm out here. How bad y'all want this cup of coffee? The waves are choppy, it is windy, and it's about 49 degrees, so it's a little chilly out here. That's just gonna make this pretentious cup of coffee that much better. All right, found a good spot here. We're gonna set up, make our coffee just off of a little trail. Not sure if I'm gonna have to resort to the gas stove here with as windy as it is, just for fire hazard's sake. I might not be able to go quite as pretentious as I want it to be. We'll find out here shortly. All right, so I got everything laid out here. Let's talk about pretentious coffee. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have to, or not be able to go quite as pretentious as I wanted to with the titanium 4-dog stove, simply because the wind is just a little too much here. I'm in the state forest, and I don't want to run the risk of, things aren't too bad, but I just don't want to have any embers blowing off with a natural fire. So we're going to resort to the MSR and just do it that way. But let's take a look and see what involves with pretentious coffee. All right, guys, so here it is, pretentious coffee. We're going to throw a few plugs out here along the way. Get done paddling in here, 20-30 minutes into a headwind. We're ready for a coffee. It's chilly out here today, so you would think, hey, let's just get this thing fired up. And again, I'm going to have to go over the MSR just because of the wind. Not going to pull out the 4-Dogs titanium and go super pretentious with it. But I do have the Eagle kettle. I have my coal cracker clean canteen. I did not bring the heavy cover out. I should have. Got real pretentious with that, but anybody who knows Dan, he's just pretentious enough right there. So got my Stitch Gear Outfitters tinder bag that I keep my flint and steel kit in. So we're going to light the stove up with flint and steel and a little bit of jute to fire that up. Of course, with a flint and steel kit that was made by Vern's Flint and Steel. Check him out. He does fantastic work. Hand carved Kuxa. Gransford Brooks outdoorsman axe that I was going to use to split the wood up for putting in the 4-dog stove. Java Press manual grinder, and this cool little Belgian, you may have seen this already, coffee sifter for pour over that is going to do the job well. And the wax canvas bag holding the coffee beans. But the coffee beans are not pretentious enough if they're not unroasted that we got to put in our roaster and roast ourselves out here. And of course, this is all laid out on the most pretentious thing that you can imagine, a reindeer hide, because it's just not pretentious bushcraft if you're not sitting on a reindeer hide out here. So let's get this stove fired up and get the coffee beans roasting up here, because I am dying for a cup of joe. Now the patience game. Turn already. Hand carved spoon. point, you just kind of go until you're satisfied with how dark you got them. The longer you let them roast, the richer the flavor will be. Let this go a little bit longer yet. I think that'll do it. Yeah, it looks good right there. So now we're going to let these beans sit for a little bit and cool off. Okay, so beans have cooled down, had a little mishap, hence the pine needles in here. Because what you need to do at this point is you need to get the little husks off the beans. And as I was doing that, I spilt the beans on the ground. No big deal, picked them up. So we're just going to clean these up. Next thing we got to do is get the grinder, fill this thing up, and get to grinding. Okay, so we got everything sifted out. We got the Java press all loaded up. And usually once this is filled, this is going to be the perfect amount to make one good cup of coffee. Set this thing, it's a burr grinder, so this thing is set for a little bit more of a medium grind. This will be better for the pour over. So we'll get this thing ground up. And in the meantime, we're going to get the stove fired back up, get the water on so that's good and hot. Now we're ready to pour. The water's hot. Okay, moment of truth. Kukso is all filled up with our dark, rich goodness. Oh, it tastes like mud. No, I'm just kidding. So from the time I left the house, drove about an hour to get up here, half-hour paddle or 20-minute paddle, whatever it was to get out, get everything set up, get the brewing. It's been 2.5 hours, 2 hours, I don't know. I'm not keeping track of time, but somewhere around there since I left my place to have this cup of coffee and to share it with you guys. I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. Hope you guys try something like this out on your own. Have a little fun while you're out in the woods. But I'm going to enjoy my coffee on my reindeer hide, take in the views, and I don't know how, but when I was paddling out, the wind was in my face and the wind has shifted, so my paddle back, I had the wind in my face again. Just my luck. Anyhow, enjoy, guys. Get outside, stay sharp, enjoy the woods. I wonder if whoever finds these coffee beans, they're going to think they're deer poop. I don't know. It's all in the grind, Sarge. Like all cow movie reference. This sip is just for you, Kevin. Asking for the pinky out. That's just a little bit too, I don't know what. That's just not pretentious. Ugh. Pretentious coffee over. Wind's picking up. Back in my face. Now I get to paddle back. It was worth it.